Whatever, I'm gonna sit here. Put the photographers in there.
Let's go one.
Okay, so first speech. So good evening, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is David. And judging from actually all the people in this room and how many of them there are in this absolutely beautiful venue, I'm truly honored to be up here as Tim's best man. Now before I start, I'd just like to take a moment, boyfriend, best man, same. I'd just like to take a moment to say how absolutely stunning the bride is. Can we get a round of applause, please? And you'll see the absolutely beautiful bridesmaids and groomsmen around. So another round of applause for them. And thank you, Tim, for showing up on time. You know, before tonight, Tim did remind me that he will be giving his best man speech at my wedding next week as my best man. And with that innocuous reminder, he suggested that I sing the groom praises and talk about all of his best qualities in front of his loved ones. So loyal, caring, smart, funny, sort of. The number one human being in my mind. But enough about me, the speech is supposed to be about the groom. I mean, come on man, what do you expect? September 11th, 2016. I still remember being at the bridal show when you FaceTimed me, not called, but FaceTimed me from Lake Louise, telling me you finally got engaged, but more importantly, asked me to be your best man. To be fair, when I got engaged, I think I called him maybe 10 minutes after I got engaged and asked him the exact same thing. But either way, 1.5 years to prep for this. Whatever happens tonight happens, and next week, come at me, bro. So how do I use my time up here with this microphone? Should I tell embarrassing stories? It's a little bit too generic, I think. How would I make a slideshow of compromising photos and career-ending videos? That's too much work. How would I talk about your ex-girlfriends? But that's only 2 or 3 seconds of material. So let's do something a little unexpected. You know, in everyone's lifetime, if they're lucky, there comes a time when they find their soulmate. Their one true love that will stick through them, thick and thin, having their back. And you know, their story isn't a classic one. It wasn't love at first sight. It was a budding love story of trials and tribulations, a beautiful bond that was forged over time and nurtured. And Tim found that special someone 12 years ago when he met me. So Tim and I met at the University of Waterloo. There we go. Tim and I met at the most Asian university studying the most Asian thing, accounting. We actually met on the basketball court, and I'm not kidding when I said it wasn't love at first sight. I was 125 pounds soaking wet, absolutely atrocious at basketball. To the point when I asked to play with Tim and his friends, he was like, very begrudgingly, okay, I guess you can have the next round with us. Not only was I bad at basketball, I was told I was viewed as loud, obnoxious, a bit arrogant. I mean, to be honest, not much has really changed, but straight up, he's told me on numerous occasions he really wasn't a fan of mine when we first met, so thank you for constantly reminding me of that. No, in fact, we didn't even start becoming friends until about 3rd or 4th year. Okay, I mean, we played basketball together, PTHL, shout out. We had classes together, but it was a pretty superficial relationship. And the thing is, it wasn't because I did anything special or became a better person. In fact, the only thing that changed was that I really needed a friend. It was because I was going through a bit of a rough patch, girl problems. I won't bore you with the details, but I was pretty devastated when my former best friend, from elementary school, started dating my first girlfriend behind my back. And at the time, I felt like I was losing two really important people in my life, and it really sucked. And Tim would be my figurative, and sometimes literal, shoulder to cry on, because I think for a stretch of a few weeks, we went out almost like every night. I'd call you and said, hey man, can we just go grab a beer or something? I don't want to study, I don't want to do anything. And you'd come and pick me up in your 2001 CRV and drive us to Krabby Joe's night after night just to talk. And really, it was more of him just listening to me go through the stages of grief, reciting the same sob story over and over again. And if you can't tell already, I like to talk a lot. So any lesser man would have headed for the hills and gotten the heck out of there, but you stuck around, man. I was so hurt from what felt like losing and screwing up a good thing with those guys, but what I realize now is that in return, I gained the best thing. You. Oh shoot, hi Megan, I forgot Megan's here. So one of the best things, sorry, one of the best things. I love you. From there, the rest was history. Late nights of Street Fighter and Mahjong in the dorm. You picking up and learning golf and football, you're still bad, but just so we have more excuses to hang out. Traveling on our mandates to Arizona and Barcelona. Us buying the exact same car without telling each other. Us buying the exact same rings for our wives without telling each other. Having joint bachelor parties. Having our weddings a week apart, again, without telling each other. If that's not the definition of soulmate, I don't know what is. So it wasn't love at first sight, trials and tribulations, and a beautiful bond that was forged and nurtured over time. It was perfect. And then along came Wendy. Who was this beautiful, mysterious volleyball superstar? Tim, I don't play volleyball. She speaks way better Chinese than me and keeps showing up in these conversations during our mandates. And she's an accountant too? What the heck? Is Tim breaking up with me? Are you replacing me? Do I have to share? But then I realized there hasn't ever been one time that I've called you or needed you or asked you out that you've said no. Tim is the type of person that will always make time for his friends and family. Always. I didn't need to worry about getting only half of Tim's heart because this guy's heart is big enough to share. Tim, you're the best friend, honestly, that anyone could ask for. You're passionate and caring both on and off the courts. You lead an adventurous life and encourage others to do so. I mean, who the heck else would start raving in their 30s? You're loyal and smart, and it's my honor to be your #1 fan and hype man, because I know you will be mine in return. Wendy, you made a great choice in a first husband. So with that, this is where I traditionally make a toast to the bride and groom. But I'm going to throw myself in there because, Wendy, I'm pretty sure by now you know that Tim and I are a package deal. So to Tim and Wendy and I.